everybody's future is up in there. It was awesome, though. Right? We did that for an hour.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Those that may watch from a distance, those that may watch on time. That'll take a while to get there, but we starting here again on a motherfucking Tuesday. Um, in the background, you hear my boy Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show. Shout out to Pat Mac. Shout out to A-Rod, man. Unfortunately, he's reminiscing and talking about his lost NFC Championship, fourth lost NFC Championship of his career and the ending of his season. But I'm gonna get to it and get going. R.I.P. Kobe Bean Bryant, man. Here on January 26th, a day in infamy for those around the world. We're gonna take one moment briefly just to say R.I.P. to the full list of the fallen, because I think it is very much so important to show love to any and all. So again, we're gonna say a beautiful rest in peace. Send a lot of love real fast. Being an LA baby, you feel me? Excuse me, my crop. But for Kobe Bryant, Gianna Bryant, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, Alyssa Altobelli, Christina Mauser, Sarah Chester, Peyton Chester, and Ara Zaobin, the pilot, if I'm not mistaken. You feel me? Y'all are definitely missed out here, man, by y'all families. And for those groups that were so and are so impactful on the world, like a Gigi and the Code, man, we miss y'all. You feel me? And I will start today's show, and one of the first things that I'll say is I think one of the most inspiring things about Kobe Bryant, I think similarly to having watched Tom Brady, one of the things that I was touting about, and I think a leader of men, an inspirer of humans, I think it's incredible. Being able to see Kobe Bryant's legacy, having lived in it when it was active, and seeing it post life, I think it's incredible because the levels in which we are willing to go for ourselves, a lot of times we're not willing to go there. If you ever look up in your life and you don't get to as great as you want to be, it's because you didn't push yourself. And that man, granted, a professional athlete, having accomplished a little more, was already on the fast track. You still get there and have every right and every reason not to make it, to be the greatest. And I mean, to inject yourself in the greatest conversation and to step to that unwaveringly, I think is incredible and amazing. To be such an incredible leader and to be so devout in his dedication to his craft and to being as great as he possibly could, I think it's something that all humans can look at it and admire, and something we can all identify with outside of looking at a LeBron, an amazing freak athlete, or Michael Jordan, and all these people have been scared. Kobe Bryant, when he didn't feel like it, when his body was beat down, when he was tired, when we knew he shouldn't be out there at times, was out there physically. In the era and in the world where even back in his era, it was a lot of guys that wouldn't play at times, and going through our era, it was a lot of guys that wouldn't play. Kobe was still out there shooting free throws with the torn Achilles. So you feel me? I call it the Achilles, short for Achilles. Relax. But just super incredible and amazing. It's sobering and kind of eerie when we look up and realize that he's not here and Gigi's not here. I was so excited to get ready to watch Gigi in college. But, their legacy lives on and their energy and their impact lives on. But, I think for me, one of the more impactful things I learned from Kobe is that it's nothing wrong with having a relentless attention to detail. And I think for me in my life, having been willing to sometimes separate from my attention to detail because maybe people in my age group or my age bracket weren't necessarily on that, and that kind of wasn't what they were focused on. I think it allowed, my quality to degrade, but being able to mature and understand that maintaining that quality makes people lift up and match your level. I think it's something that is extremely impactful because, again, that attention to detail goes into everything, into training, into nutrition, into mental skills coordination. Again, he's one of the greatest mental skills coordinators in the history of the earth, and I think he did that majority a lot on his own, and that's amazing to me since a young age. So, it says a lot. And his legacy, it definitely lives on and impact and has an extremely superb impact on people. And that's the thing, I'm trying to find and pull things out to say, it's crazy just sitting here on this day without a dude like Kobe Bryant here and around, because his thought process and his expression was so impactful to the world. He was more than a sport. he was one of the greatest mental spaces in history of our world, I believe, because again, it takes a lot to be and to act as a human computer as we do. I'm speaking right now and I'm acting as a human computer. I'm thinking, I'm producing thoughts. I'm moving my hands while I'm doing this. I'm remembering to look up at the camera. I'm looking here. This is all. Now imagine taking those things and then saying, okay, well, now I'm going to be doing all of these things that I'm doing now with a person trying to physically stop me. And that's just sitting here trying to talk. So if somebody's trying to stop me from talking, cover my eyes, and I'm going like this and I'm doing all that, that's just sitting here trying to stop somebody from stopping me from talking. Now imagine stepping between the lines and you got somebody trying to stop you from scoring, trying to stop you from dribbling up the court and all of these things. And then again, the levels in which we've seen divine, incredible level of greatness. And then as well, when you subtract comfort, when you subtract a healthy body and things like that, the levels in which he went to, and then the incredible and amazing moments that we saw from him. Those things are incredible for something that I can pull out of the ether, trying to find something that I can say is substantive. I think those kind of things are always the things that stick out to me because, again, to mental skills coordinate, but to also be a supercomputer at that level. And again, we all know as regular everyday people and everyday humans, we can't do that. We can't do that. I can't go out and play with a dislocate with torn ligaments in my hand, torn and shoot a free throw with a torn Achilles, man. I'll be telling them to take me to the fucking back. So, it's amazing and incredible. Rest in peace. Because again, I don't think you get very many people like that on this earth, and we gotta appreciate them while we have them here. On another note, momentarily, briefly, we feel me? Super Bowl is set. February 7th, if I'm not mistaken. February 6th or 7th, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 7th. Tampa Bay, Buccaneers. Lining up and playing against Patrick and the Mahomes. Andy Reid, Big Red, and the gang are going to be lining up against Bruce Arians and his folks. Spagnuolo versus Todd Bowles. Tyrann Mathieu versus Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes versus Ndamukong Suh, JPP, Shaquille Barrett, and Vita Vea, and Devin White, and Levante David. It's going to be a great matchup. Great matchup.
Don't think about it. That is insane. But the NFC Championship 2 years in a row now, you're playing your what are your thoughts going into the offseason?
I think when you look at our episode Saturday pregame, I think our episode Friday pregame or whatever day that was as well. I spoke on the missed and made opportunities are what makes these games and what makes life. I think we look at Aaron Rodgers and we're going to look at missed and made opportunities. And I think we're going to look at this game and look at missed and made opportunities. Maybe so on the defense, but on him. On Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams dropped the back shoulder touchdown pass. Granted, he may have had to make a crazy pirouette and catch, but honestly, maybe stay on your feet, you make the catch. I can't say I'm not a pro. Just a guy watching, been watching for a while. I think the interception early in the game hurt Aaron Rodgers. I think going 3 and out 3 straight times after 3 picks and getting 6 points, if I'm not mistaken, and getting 3 picks, getting 6 points or whatever that is. And I think that was all field goals. That's ridiculous, dude. Can't come out and do that. That's going to lose. You're going to lose every time. Every time. And again, going back to the greatest leader of men, I can throw 3 picks and have a bad game. My dudes is hunting and ready and rearing to go because, again, they saying, fuck it. We're going to keep getting this man an opportunity to do it. Coach LaFleur expected your guys to get an opportunity to do it, and that ended up being the difference in the game. So, I think it's going to be tough, I think, for Green Bay to rebound from this because I think even watching Aaron Rodgers here on the McAfee show, he's playing it cool and playing it good and trying to play it thoughtfully and reasonably. But how do you play it thoughtfully and reasonably? And this is what you just went through. The 5th time. Only one of them you done made it through, and it's the 5th time. Granted, it's a fleet of teams that's gonna feel like that. As Ray Lewis said back in the day, we not the only ones feeling like this today. The Rams 2 weeks ago was not the only ones feeling like how they was feeling, and the Packers are not the only ones feeling how they gonna feel today. Buffalo feel like how they feel, and again, between Kansas City and Tampa, one of them is gonna feel the same way in 2 weeks. But you got to look at it and say, if I'm gonna feel this way, I want to feel like I made all my opportunities and didn't miss any opportunities. Just again, I understand and I get now more information being shared. And again, the thought process prospectively from Aaron Rodgers, again, on the goal line was, well, I thought we was going to have 4 chances to do it. So, not running on third down, not running on second down was because, well, I figured that I was going to get another opportunity on fourth. Well, that's why you got to make opportunities and take opportunities. Opportunities are made, you got to take them. I think it's tough because, again, I don't see any reason to stay in Green Bay. Yes, the Green Bay team is good, but again, who's to say that you can't go to San Francisco and do this and win? Who's to say you can't go to a LA Rams and do this and win? Who's to say you couldn't go to a Las Vegas Raiders and do this and have success? Dallas, not going to Dallas though. Pittsburgh, New England, Miami. Miami is a good spot for him. Pittsburgh, a good spot for him. The Rams and the 49ers. The 49ers is good pickings for him. Good pickings. They waiting on him. Sitting there waiting on him. Jimmy Garoppolo, goodbye. But, the Rams with their Jared Goff issues and how they feel about Jared Goff, tough. Off Aaron Rodgers, onto the subject of the Super Bowl and onto the Kansas City Chiefs. That was an incredible performance that we saw just because, again, they started off down 9 points. And I think I look at it and I say down 9 points, the way in which they were able to galvanize and make plays, though, just speaks to an ability. And again, I was speaking on this. They basically been to the Super Bowl 3 times. Now they've only made 2 appearances, but again, they had the Patriots beat 2 years ago. Guys in the neutral zone blows the game. That's how it happens. Made and missed opportunities. Then you get Eric Berry lined up on Rob Gronkowski. We going up top every fucking time to that matchup. Go ahead, give me that. Let's how my boy Maggie say, how you doing? Keep it moving. So I think when you look at it now, the biggest dynamic I think that impacts this game is interior pressure up the middle on Patrick Mahomes and the dual dynamic of the way in which he's going to, I think, be looking to hit this defense. Granted, I think it's going to be hard for them to keep up with Tyreek Hill again because he's feeling it and he's willing it, and Patrick dealing it. You got Travis Kelce right now who is unguardable. They're going to stick Devin White and Levante David on that man, and they're going to try and make him work. But again, it don't look like nobody is capable of putting that man to work. It look like he the motherfucking it look like he the CEO. Can't nobody put Travis Kelce to work. He put folks to work. Within that, I think it's going to be very much so important again for Kansas City to figure out how they're going to manage the matchup between their offensive line and the Kansas City and the Buffalo, the Tampa Bay D line. I think when I looked at the game against the Rams, I'll say this and I feel this. I don't care who wants to argue about it. We can debate it and argue. We can go look at the statistics. We can go look at pressures over the course of the season. We can go look at all of those things in the matchups. The Rams did not have the best defensive player in the league out there, and Aaron Rodgers was able to benefit from that. Tampa Bay had 3 of the best D linemen in the league, 3 of the top 20 D linemen in the league on their D line out there chasing Aaron Rodgers around on Sunday, and it made a big difference. He was pressured, 5 times or something like that? Pressured 23 times, sacked 5. Shaq Barrett, leading sacker from last year, led the league in sacks last year next to Ndamukong Suh. You want to learn a little quick fun fact? Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Zspn 21, and here we go. Shaquille Barrett led the NFL in sacks last season, so 2019-2020 season. We're in the 2020-2021 season right now, right? And Ndamukong Suh joined him after playing for the Rams in 2018-2019 season, correct? So coming into that season or coming out of that season with the Rams, Aaron Donald had led the league in sacks as a defensive tackle, and that was an incredible NFL astounding breaking record. My boy left, one of the greatest D tackles in the history of the game, and Ndamukong Suh. I'm going to give it up to my boy. Left, goes to Shaq Barrett last year. Shaq Barrett, Jameis Winston breaking that incredible astronomical record for touchdowns, 30 and 30 or something like that, whatever the fuck he threw. As well, and Ndamukong Suh was alongside the league leader in sacks. So what does that say about his ability and his talent? Amazing. Vita Vea was a first-round pick out of the University of Washington. Talented. JPP, Super Bowl champion. First-round pick. Amazing, incredible athlete. I think he's one of the better defensive ends I've seen in our era, regardless of how people feel about him. So again, you got those 4 leading sacker, first-round draft pick D tackle, future Hall of Famer in Ndamukong Suh. If we just looking at the ability and to play, if we looking at all that old school shit, first ballot Hall of Famer. Who else? What other D tackle get next to Pat to elite to dudes and they back-to-back seasons is the league leader in sacks? That's incredible. That right there is awesome. And one of them went to the Super Bowl. Year removed Super Bowl. So they're going to have to figure out how it is without Eric Fisher now out because of an Achilles, how they're going to manage that. But again, that relies on a quick game. And I mean, if you Wow, Karis LeVert from the Pacers had kidney cancer surgery today. Hopefully he's okay. T's and P's. You feel me? Thoughts and prayers to my boy. But I think it's very important. Again, we watched that 71-yard touchdown, or excuse me, 71-yard catch reception, catch and run rack by Tyreek Hill was set up very interesting. You notice Tony Romo on the play. They line up and he calls and he says they're going to go to the tight end. He circles it on the play. They have Travis Kelce lined up in the off the end of the line of scrimmage, basically like a little bit right up off the hash mark. I want to say Tyreek Hill out in the slot, another receiver off to the outside. What they did with Travis Kelce is basically they had Travis Kelce run a flat. You feel me? He just came up, did a bubble flat motion right there. So they had a linebacker lined up in the box, a nickel corner and a nickel corner. Two corners out, low one on Tyreek, one on Travis Kelce. Now, they're also doing kind of a little bit of hedge situation in the zone. When you see Travis Kelce on that bubble screen, that flat, the forced defender is forced to force. He has to show because, again, it's too elite. Travis Kelce, if he gets the ball for 2 yards after he's killing us, he could get 5 yards. He could get 10 yards. So, again, the showman comes and he shows. Well, now you leaving Tyreek Hill, who the original force man. The force man is supposed to force them to not throw to Tyreek Hill, which is why Travis Kelce was killing and eating. But again, going on the bubbles, the bubble screen motion, the flat route, you feel me? The force man now is forced to have to take the dude who's been eating because they've been doubling and zoning up Tyreek Hill. So again, it automatically created a two-way go with Tyreek Hill out of the slot. And what the fuck is he going to run every fucking time, ladies and gentlemen, with no linebacker in the middle of the field and the force man heading down, to the flat? A fucking slant. So he ran a motherfucking slant. My boy caught the slant, took off running to the sideline, got to the sideline outside the hash, hezzy step, go back inside, ran all the way to the motherfucking 10-yard line. Now, what I'm saying is again, Tampa Bay is going to blitz. Tampa Bay want to blitz. They want to blitz. That's what they're going to get hit with. Tyreek Hill, the last time they played him, if I'm not mistaken, had 50,000 yards. Let's see. What y'all think Tyreek Hill had last game they played? If I'm not mistaken, he had 210 yards. These niggas have lost 2 games all year. That's the crazy part. The Chiefs have lost 2 games all year. 2. Tyreek Hill had a 75-yard touchdown, a 44-yard touchdown, and a 20-yard touchdown. That's just touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes went for 462, 37 and 49, 3 touchdowns. My boy Tyreek Hill had 13 catches for 269 and 3 tubs. Now, you want to know what's incredible about that and crazy about this game? The final score was 24-27. So with all that going on, all that hecticness, 24-27. That Tampa defense is good as hell. They're going to have to stand up and step up again. But they good as hell. And again, Brady averaging 30 in the playoffs right now. He averaging 30. He walking in the thing with 30. Throwing 3 picks. Fucking up. But leading, because he's a great leader of men. Physically, not the same dude. I mean, they could keep getting on TV and talking about he the same dude. But again, he throwing 3 picks and shit like that, which means he's not the same dude. I ain't watched Tom Brady throw no 3 picks in a playoff game and win. So, it's pretty interesting. Right now, I'm in a state where, in terms of picking this game and deciding, I mean, truly for me, like I said, and like I've been saying, at the end of the day, one of the biggest things is I'm not picking against. I've told myself, and I understand that I'm not picking against Tom Brady once he make it to the dance. If he don't make it to the dance, if they can get him out of the dance beforehand, I can pick against him. I can pick somebody else. But if he get to the dance, I can't. And the problem is that he done made it in the dance, and they want me to pick him over Mahomes. They want me to pick Mahomes over him. Why? I like Mahomes too. But the last time they played, Brady won. And I'm not talking about this regular season. When it counted, Brady won in the playoffs. Hook or crook, don't matter. So right now, I think the score may be very similar to the last score, 27-24. Might even be a safety. Oh my gosh. An Indianapolis teenager accused of killing 6 people. We're moving on to the news now. Accused of killing 6 people at his home, including a pregnant woman and her unborn baby has been scolded by his father shortly after the man. Wow. My boy opened fire on the family in the house. Mm. So this kid got in trouble with his dad for going out somewhere in the Rona era in fucking Indianapolis, Indiana, because he wasn't supposed to. And this kid turned around and killed his whole family, basically. Police received a report of a person shot just before 4 a.m. Sunday in Indianapolis. Officers arrived to find the juvenile male, the suspect's brother, near the home with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. They killed my family, he said. The surviving teenage victim later told investigators the suspect, his brother, was in trouble with his father, who was scolding him for going somewhere without asking his parents first. The young victim, when discovered by the police on Sunday, had pointed officers to the inside of the home where they found 5 people who had been shot and killed. Police later identified the victim as Kezi Raymond Childs, both 42, Elijah Childs, 18, Rita Childs, 13, and Kiera Hawkins, 19, who was pregnant with a child whom police have referred to as baby boy Hawkins. Responders say Kiera was rushed to a local hospital, but neither she nor the baby could be saved. The police, the boy who the officers encountered outside was taken to the hospital where he is expected to survive. Mm. The surviving victim reportedly told the detectives he was downstairs with his parents when he heard gunshots following his sister screaming. He shot them. More shots rang out. The victim's brother then came down the stairs with a Draco gun, a handgun that shoots rifle rounds, and started shooting. That's crazy. As the boy ran out of the home, his brother allegedly chased after him, firing shots. Police later arrested the teen suspect in Plainfield, Indiana. He is in custody, and his life is gone. Yeah, that's incredible, bro. That's ridiculous. I don't be trying to blame music and culture and stuff like that and all the things that we got going on, but I definitely feel like the culture and music and the dynamic elements of the shit we taking in and gaming and all that stuff. Not that it's about gaming, but again, killing is easy to kids. They don't think about killing. It's a button. I can kill all of y'all, whoever y'all is, just pressing the button like a game. It's never nothing that big. You could fuss and fight. Me and my sister fuss and fight, push and shove, maybe. In the rare times we push and shove over our kid lives and over our lives and stuff like that. I would never kill my sibling. I would never kill my sibling. I would never want my mom and my family to have to deal with the loss of another 2 of us. And then again, you killed your mama and your brother and your sister and your aunt and your mom and your dad. What's wrong with you? It's never nothing that serious. It's nothing out in these streets, regardless of how hard it is. It's nothing out in these streets that's worth that. And then again, so this kid is 17, 18 years old or whatever, how old he is, man. The kid gonna look up in 10 years, in 5 years, and regret it. Deeply regret it. And with the Rona cycle, I can say, okay, well, the Rona cycle had an effect on his mental state and clouded that judgment. But again, like, how could that be what you do? We got to become a better village and a better community as people. Granted, that's black folks just dealing with that. That's a black family that went through that. But that's crazy. Just because, again, like, why would that have to be the way in which your family is starting a new year, man? What kind of decision is you making that you just can't think deeply enough to understand that it's bigger than that? My boy killed his family with a gun. Prayers to that family, man. Mm. Okay, so they saying, let's see. Okay. America's biggest movie theater chain is no longer on the brink of disaster, and it only took 917 million. Just weeks after AMC warned that its December SEC filing, that its money would run out as early as this month, the world's largest cinema chain announced Monday that it had raised at least 917 million in the new fund since issuing the dire forecast. With AMC now saying that the imminent bankruptcy is completely off the table, Adam Aaron believes going out to the movies will make a bold comeback this year. Yes, it will, Aaron. I will be up there. Y'all will be getting my money. I think y'all probably took out a $917 million loan because y'all know that's probably about how much money I'm going to spend in the theater. I feel it. I have 917 reasons to be smiling, man. Aaron tells Variety. He says it's not just AMC's nearly 1 billion withdrawal behind his optimism, windfall behind his optimism, but also President Biden's promise to release 100 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines in his first 100 days. Oh, so somebody went and invested some money in AMC. Maybe the movie company sent some money to AMC, but I doubt it. That means somebody called AMC and said, okay, all right. We know what y'all got going on over there, and we gonna send some money. My boy Joe Beasy said he finna motherfucking give out 100 million vaccines. Well, guess what? We can give y'all 900 million. So we get y'all 100 million just for the 100 million people vaccinated, and we got an extra 8. That's off rip. I can respect it. Projecting further optimism, Aaron predicts that the majority of Americans won't necessarily have to be vaccinated to revive the long-standing experience or the rest of the economy. I think we will find out the health status or health statistics in the United States will be much improved, even if a third of the population is vaccinated. I do think we're going to need to see substantial vaccination in the United States, but not as much vaccination as has been brandished about publicly to see improvements in the United States economy and consumer behavior overall. Asked if studios delaying the releases of potential box office monsters like No Time to Die as many as 3 times, Aaron said AMC is expected that April and May movies would move as they were being moved, but emphasized again that with mass vaccinations, I think we will see movies by the summer. The second half of 2021 should be much brighter than the first half. Okay, so they were talking a little bit about movies services taking their movies to other places. So this is a little excerpt on Warner Brothers, and they spoke a little bit on Wonder Woman, for example. So he said, our conversations with Warner Brothers are still fluid. He told Variety, we were the first major theater chain to sign on Wonder Woman 1984. We were the first to respond in horror to their announcement that they were about the entire 2021 film slate. We have to have more conversations with Warner Brothers about their 2021 films. I'm not going to talk about Warner Brothers today, nor am I particularly worried about it today. Today is a day to celebrate that we raised $917 million. Not worrying about the state of play with Warner Brothers. Oh, it costs us a little more money to be open than to be shut, is what he said. Okay. Okay. Pizza Hut stock booming because niggas is in the house, huh? Check out some business. I should say, why Mitch McConnell dumped Trump? Trying to find something good to pull up. I don't want to pull up no bullshit. A remarkable phenomenon. Billions of cicadas set to emerge across the United States. And yes, cicadas. Read that. Y'all can't read that. You would have said some shit. Cicadas, baby. Last such event for 15 states, including New York, Ohio, Illinois, and Georgia, occurred in 2004. Billions of cicadas that have spent 17 years underground are set to emerge across large areas of the eastern United States, bringing swarming numbers to enlarge mating calls to major cities and towns. The periodic cicadas, the bugs with strikingly red eyes, black bodies, and orange wings, burrow underground as nymphs and suck liquid from the roots of plants as they grow, eventually bursting into the open as adults in mass synchronized events. That's a little creepy. Oh, we got to read that one next. A quarter of known bee species have not been recorded since 1990. The last such event for 15 states, including New York, like I said, occurred in 2004. The cicadas emerge in a 17-year cycle, meaning they will appear this year once temperatures are warm enough, expected mid-May. They may amass in millions in parks, woods, neighborhoods, and can seemingly be everywhere. The entomologist at University of Michigan State said, when they are this abundant, they fly and land and crawl everywhere, including occasionally landing on humans. Parsons said that while cicadas will not harm people, pets that gorge on them will or may become ill. It is through their long underground development that helps cicadas survive predators, as their huge synchronized arrivals provide protection in numbers, again, because they mobbing. So we mobbing through this bitch. Y'all ain't finna be able to kill us all. And if y'all do eat us, y'all gonna get sick, ho. The noise made by the enormous swarms will be noticeable. However, with males emitting mating calls that can reach 100 decibels, the same sounds as standing next to a motorcycle engine revving. God damn. The males produce these mating songs by vibrating their tymbals, two rigid drum-like membranes on the underside of their abdomen. Experts say that if people are able to forget about the noises and the surprise of the surroundings being covered with cicadas, they will be able to appreciate a rare, wonderful natural event. The emergence of cicadas is a wonderful opportunity for millions of people to witness and enjoy a remarkable biological phenomenon in their own backyard that happens nowhere else on the planet. I don't know if I fuck with that. Only place on the planet. Fuck. Okay. So a quarter of known bee species have not been recorded. Global studies since 1990. Global studies find that species numbers reported in the wild fell sharply between 1990 and 2015. Number of wild bee species recorded by an international database of life on Earth has declined since 1990. By a quarter since 1990. A global analysis of bee declines. I'm going to pull that up later. Maybe some cool to learn. Researchers analyzed bee records from museums, universities, and citizen scientists collated by the Global Biodiversity Information Facility, the GBIF, a global government-funded network providing open access data on biodiversity. Wow. We're going to look that up too later. They found a steep decline in bee species being recorded since 1990, with approximately 25% fewer species reported between 2006 and 2015. Stop stepping on bees, you bitch ass niggas. Stop swatting them and all that shit. It's not going to do nothing to you. Please stop. The bees stop, the wind stop, the ocean stop moving like it do. We die, the bees die. I'm telling y'all think I'm tripping. How y'all think food grow? Who the fuck you think pollinate the food? You think it's them dumbass folks running around planting seeds and motherfucking spraying shit? No disrespect to all my immigrant folks out there hustling and you feel me, picking everything and getting shit right, and the farmers. But what I'm saying is again, the bees is a part of that. Although this does not mean that the species are extinct, it may indicate that some have become so scarce that they are no longer regularly observed in the wild. With citizen science and the ability to share data, records are going up exponentially, but the number of species reported in these records are going down. The lead author and biologist at Universidad Nacional in Argentina, my boy said Del Cuman, or Cuman, I don't know what that word is. Argentina's National Scientific and Technical Research Council coins it. It's not a bee cataclysm yet, but what we can say is that wild bees are not exactly thriving. A separate series of scientific studies into global insect declines this month warned that the abundance of insects was falling by 10 to 20% each decade, and an absolutely frightening loss that threatened to tear apart the tapestry of life. That's what I was saying. Excuse me. Like literally, bees and bugs are very important to regular life. Like, bro, they're not just bugs. We just smash because we big. And it's more of them than it is us usually, and we out here smashing them because we bigger. That's stupid. Because think about it. For however many humans it is, bugs is smaller than us, and they for sure got about that amount of million as a country on the block. It's however many like millions of people it is in the United States, for example. It's probably that amount of ants in the Crenshaw district. Food for thought. And yes, that ain't even a debate. I'm winning that. I'm taking all the bets and the money. I'm winning that. Because it might be, come on, I'm winning that. A specific scientific study warned, like I said, they're falling by 10 to 20% each decade. And that's an absolutely frightening loss that threatened to tear apart the tapestry of life. In the United States, a study in 2020 found that the lack of bees in agricultural areas was limiting the supply of some foods. In Britain, the government this month allowed farmers to use neonicotinoids on sugar beet crops, despite the bee-killing pesticides having been banned since 2018. The new study, which is published in the journal One Earth, analyzed records from 3 centuries of collection. Damn. That includes more than 20,000 known bee species around the world. Damn. I wonder if they got the pictures of the bees on there. Excuse me. Let's see. Well, records of housed bees, I think that is the second most common family, have declined 17%. Those for Melididae. It is Lettii, Lettii, Melididae bees. A much rarer family have plummeted more than 41%. Damn, they killing my little Melididae. Oh, the little Melididae. They killing the little Melididae. That's down 41%. Because you bitch ass niggas don't know how to just relax and breathe. Niggas see a bee and go motherfucking crazy. That's crazy. Some scientists have warned that the lack of scientific data on insect declines in tropical countries is hampering their understanding of global bee declines, with most GBIF records covering North and Europe. That's all y'all motherfucking do is cover where the white people at. The white people be the main ones killing the shit, and y'all reading all their stats, talking about they killing them. Y'all ain't gonna make them stop, though. Ain't no way to make them stop. The study's authors acknowledge that the declines in specific species might in part reflect changes in the GBIF's collection of data over time. It was said, while their study did not establish the status of individual bee species, it showed a clear global trend with diminishing diversity of species, likely to indicate global declines in bees and or other pollinators. It's about confirming what's been shown to happen logically is going on globally. Locally is going on globally, excuse me. It's about confirming what's been shown to happen locally is going on globally. And also about the fact that much better certainty will be achieved as more data is shared about the bees. Damn. They killing the bees, man. We finna die. And these folks is killing the bees, man. Okay, so the Moderna COVID vaccination apparently fights against the new COVID. Okay, let's see. They got an Apple Watch in Navy. I don't need one, nigga. I want a green one. Wait. Damn. They say TSA confiscated guns at a record rate in 2020. It's definitely not easy how flight attendants are handling travel during COVID-19. When Amber Gibson last flew from Chicago to Denver, she sat next to a passenger who was wearing a mask over his mouth, but not his nose. Despite repeating requests from the flight attendants, he refused to adjust his face covering. Since the flight was already delayed, Gibson agreed to move to a new seat after takeoff, only to be surrounded by half-hearted maskers. Damn. Instead of forcing my seatmate off the plane because he was white, the crew made me feel like the bad guy because we had already pushed back. We had already pushed back from the gate. The crew told me that if I insisted, we could go back, but it would further delay our flight, and that I want to waste everyone's time. We all finna get COVID in this recycled air cabin because this man just ain't gonna pull his mask up. Gibson's dilemma highlights one of the many difficulties of traveling by air during the pandemic, during the fucking Panamera. Those who fly have untangled each airline safety protocols and worry about unpredictable fellow passengers as well as the extent to which crew will deal with them. The issues are even more fraught for flight attendants who must navigate a virus that still isn't completely understood and non-compliant passengers who put crew members' health and jobs at risk every day. But again, so one of the craziest things about the coronavirus is that, again, people that are charged with protecting and serving put their opinions over doing their job. But then again, it's very easy for them to interject and to insert how they feel about other shit into doing their job. And they're not held accountable for it. So again, it's supposed to be an air marshal on the plane, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe they took the air marshal off now these days because, it's COVID. We need every seat. The air marshal need to be getting these folks up off the plane. But no, the air marshal usually is not going to do that because, again, the air marshal sitting here and he feel the same way. Joe Biden. That's the thing. Like, the craziest thing to me is understanding that in America, a lot of the political structure and law enforcement is literally all Republican. All Republican with no thought of right and wrong. What's wrong is not being Republican. What's right is being Republican. So that's pretty crazy because I don't even understand how we even get there. The air marshal need to be getting these niggas off. Get off. Put niggas in cuffs, pulling their mask up. Either you're going to put your mask up or I'm going to come put it up for you and we're going to have you in some cuffs. Guess what? They don't make you wear no mask in jail. And they don't give a fuck about no COVID in jail. So you want to go on ahead to the jailhouse playing around? Let's go. Crazy. A World Economic Forum's Visual Capitalist report finds that transportation workers have the highest COVID-19 risk rate, 75.7 out of an average 30 of 966 non-health jobs assessed. Flight attendants are more at risk from COVID-19 than anyone else on the plane just by the nature of their work. Close quarters means that they come within 6 feet of every passenger and each other multiple times during the flight. Flight attendants are vulnerable to contracting the virus when passengers remove their masks to eat or to drink, and when trying to convince an anti-masker to comply with the rules. Federal protections for crew members are limited, and each airline has set their own policies. President Biden's new federal mask mandate requiring face coverings in federal transportation areas, including airports and on planes, may give more weight to the very COVID-19 protection measures across the United States, but it's not clear when the new mandate will go into effect or how it will be enforced. In the meantime, cabin crew are still left with open to interpretation guidelines that vary from airline to airline and few consequences for passengers who defy them. Besides that, other COVID-related workplace concerns remain, such as inconsistent policies on contact tracing, testing, and quarantine, plus potentially punitive consequences for crew members who miss shifts to isolate after the exposure to the virus. And that's something that's been abundant in this era right now. You take time off because you're sick, they don't give a fuck. And it's sad. I got to risk dying to stay working. That's what we read about last week, though. Remember last week when I was reading about the Latino doctors? Welcome to the Zspn, ladies and gentlemen. This is your second week, and we got something now. That's sad. That's fucked up. Yeah, out of there. I ain't gonna keep reading that shit. Damn, Godiva closed all 128 chocolate stores in North America because of the pandemic. Bitcoin rising again. I need to buy some Bitcoin. My next check, I'm buying some Bitcoin. It's ridiculous at this point. Alrighty, man. I think I'm gonna check out on that. Hold on, we finna read this one. It's a cosmic miracle that life on Earth lasted this long. Exactly how lucky did we get? It took evolution 3 or 4 billion years to produce Homo sapiens. If the climate had completely failed just once in that time, then evolution would have come to a crashing halt, and we would not be here to be fucking up the Earth, is what it should say. So to understand how we came to exist on Earth, we need to know how. Here we go. So to understand how we came to exist on Earth, we need to know how Earth managed to stay fit for life for billions of years. That's not a trivial question. Current global warming shows us that the climate can change considerably over the course of even a few centuries. If people was fucking spraying gasoline in the sky, like we fucking doing, burning gasoline like dickheads, won't stop. Elon Musk said something crazy, something dope. I read that recently, if I'm not mistaken, or I heard it recently about his patent and why he released his patent for his cars, like for everybody to be able to make them, because it's like at the end of the day, if you want a sinking ship and you know how to plug the holes and you don't help everybody plug the holes, then you're a part of making the ship sink faster. I fuck with that. That's some real shit. Let's see. Over geological timescales, it is even easier to change climates. Calculations show that there is the potential for Earth's climate to deteriorate to temperatures below freezing or above boiling in just a few million years. We also know that the sun has become 30% more luminous since life first evolved. In theory, that this should have caused the oceans to boil away by now, given that they were not generally frozen on Earth. Damn. Oh, wait. Damn, so the sun is 30% more luminous. Damn. This is known as the faint young sun paradox. Yet somehow this habituality puzzle was solved. Excuse me. I think that's the word. Scientists come up with two main theories. The first is that the Earth could possess something like a thermostat, a feedback mechanism, or mechanisms that prevent the climate. Damn. They prevent the climate from ever wandering to fatal temperatures. The second is that out of the large number of planets, perhaps some just make it through by luck. The Earth is one of those. The second scenario is made more plausible by the discoveries in recent decades. Of many planets outside of our solar system, so-called exoplanets, astronomical observations of distant stars tell us that many have planets orbiting them, and that some are the size and density and orbital distance such that the temperatures suitable for life are theoretically possible. It has been estimated that there are at least 2 billion such candidate planets in our galaxy. They trying to tell us it's time to get off Earth. They saying, yeah, it's been real, but we finna have to move. We finna get evicted. Scientists would love to travel to these exoplanets to investigate whether any of them have matched the Earth's billions of years of climate stability. But even the nearest exoplanet, those orbiting the star Proxima Centauri, are more than 4 light years away. Damn. Observational or experimental evidence is hard to come by. Instead, I explored the same question through modeling using a computer program designed to simulate climate evolution on planets in general, not just Earth. I first generated 100,000 planets, each with a randomly different set of climate feedback. Climate feedbacks are processes that can amplify or diminish climate change. Think, for instance, of sea ice melting in the Arctic, which replaces sunlight reflecting ice with sunlight absorbing sea. Damn, I did not know that. I didn't know that the ice be reflecting the sun. I didn't know that the sea absorbed the light, which in turn causes more warming and more melting. Damn. To investigate how likely each of these diverse planets was to stay habitable over enormous geological timescales, I simulated each 100 times. Each time the planet started from a different initial temperature and was exposed to randomly different sets of climate events. These events represent climate-altering factors such as pre-volcanic eruptions, asteroid impacts, and on each of the 100 runs, the planet's temperature was tracked until it became too hot or too cold, or else had survived 3 billion years, like Earth, I guess, right? At which point it was deemed to have be a possible crucible for intelligent life. So basically what he did is he created about, like I said, a few hundred planets, and he put them all through the life cycle of Earth with some of the various changes we've been through, right? So again, these are all Earth-centric. So asteroid killed the dinosaurs, climate change, getting colder and hotter, the ice age and stuff like that. That's pretty interesting. Scientists be doing a whole lot of shit with this money instead of helping fix the world. The simulation results give a definite answer to this habitability problem, at least in terms of the importance of the feedback and luck. It was very rare, in fact, just one time out of 100,000 for a planet to have such strong stabilizing feedbacks that it stayed habitable over 100 times, or all 100 times. Irrespective of the random climate events, in fact, most planets that stayed habitable at least once did so fewer than 10 times out of the 100. Wow. On nearly every occasion in the simulation, when a planet remained habitable for 100 billion years, it was partly down to luck. At the same time, luck by itself was shown to be insufficient. Planets that were specifically designed to have no feedbacks at all never stayed habitable. Random walks. This is some like science. They use the science words. I mean, like random walks, buffet, or again, buffered around by climate events never lasted long. That's the word buffet. Buffet. Bro, what? I just learned the new word usage. I don't know what the fuck what. Anyway, this overall result, the outcomes depend partially on feedback and partially on luck, is robust. All sorts of changes to the modeling did not affect it. By implication, Earth must therefore possess some climate thermostat feedback, but at the same time, good fortune must also be involved in the planet staying habitable. If, for instance, an asteroid or a solar flare had been slightly larger than that, or had occurred a slightly different or more critical time at a slightly different or more critical time, we would probably not be here on Earth today. It gives a different perspective on why we are able to look back on Earth's remarkable, enormous, extended history of life evolving and diversifying and becoming even more complex to the point where it gives a rise to all of us. You feel me? I'm more going to continue to try and get better at this. And this story say the whales is getting skinnier. They say the whales is starving. We're going to bring that back next week. You feel me? 54 minutes. Thank you for all of y'all that's going to come and watch. We're going to finish this episode like we always do, and like we're going to try to be consistent with doing with a good, energetic, thoughtful prayer to the universe, and to send out some positive energy to anybody that's going to come and pick up the show. You feel me? You might need it. You might need the vibe. This is the ZSPN show, ZSPN 21, Zachary's Sports. perspective and news. You feel me? I think I shared a little bit of it. I shared a little bit of Zachary. I shared a little bit of sports. I shared a little perspective and some news. We're just gonna ask the universe and the Lord and those that we all believe in and those that we love, our ancestors and guardian angels above us, just continue to provide us with the energy to continue to be our best selves, all of us around. You feel me? To lead us to not be fearful and being willing to express it, to share it, to go as far as it takes for us to be who it is we desire to be. Um, to have every opportunity to spread and to share love and to never be wavered by the negativity or the doubts that come to our mind, and to give us, you know, clarity and strength to continue to push on through all these moments, knowing that at our highest, sometimes we may distract and leave from our spiritual connection and from God, whichever God it is that you believe in. And at our lowest, we are always quick to go to. But let us, every time we're in the middle, make sure that we, you know, express that we want to fight the darkness and the demons that want to bring us down, and that we want to arise and use our powers and our benefits and our abilities to be a blessing to other people in our lives and other people that we come across, because these talents and these blessings, these assets and things like that may allow us perspective and platform and opportunity are not for us to just benefit ourselves, but as well for us to go ahead and turn around to help others. So, that's all we're going to stay on, and that's all we're going to want to be on. So I'm thankful so much for the opportunity. I'm thankful for those that may come in and peep, and I'm going to keep doing this. We're going to do it till it blow up, and then when it blow up, we're going to build it again, and we're going to blow another bomb. So thank you so much. Shout out to y'all. I'll catch y'all later this week. Wednesday it is.